So today we're working on the Mazda B2600i, 90 model, 4-wheel drive, 5-speed. In particular, the 5-speed mark, because it's currently a 4-speed. Fourth gear blew up on me when I downshifted because the synchronizers aren't engaged and I didn't rev match correctly, and fourth gear deleted. So today I'm going to be trying to get work started on dropping the transmission. Should be relatively easy. I've done so in a parts truck before. You just drop the lower trans support member right here, and then you disconnect the drive shaft, your front drive shaft, and then the bell housing, and it should come right out. And don't forget the interior handles. So today I'm going to go ahead and show you what I can do and see if we can get this thing started. Alright, first up, getting your transmission out is dealing with the controls. So obviously start with trash can, get out of the way. Now there's 2 sets of screws on each side, total of 4. If you're in constant state of projects like I am, and you're always working on things, it ain't on there. So all you gotta deal with now is the boot and the shift knobs. The shift knobs are pretty easy. Boot, you just get them, pull it down. It's on both sides. And there is a beveled flat section which would spin with your wheel. If you put a wrench on it, it'll come right off. I got my overkill wrench here. Hold that steady and just twist the wheel off. Helps if it actually holds. Or not. Ignore your flat beveled edges unless it is stiffly on there. Then use those to spin the whole assembly. It does not come in separate parts. So it's just threaded. As you can tell, flat beveled edges. It's just to help get it off, not separate it. My bad. It's been a while since I did this. You heard that one. And plenty of thread on it. Here's your 4-wheel drive. And this just comes right off. Now you got that out of the way. Basically done. Because this is just a shift collar for the boot, which doesn't exist in my truck. They get very old and brittle. And there's supposed to be boots on the bottom of this, but they're not there either. They're pretty brittle. Show you a better image of what the shift looks like underneath. You can see that the boots are just about gone. They don't exist. This is supposed to keep heat from the exhaust and the engine from entering the cab. It's supposed to be joined here, but it's not. So yeah. Now that we got the cabin portion handled, we need to chalk the tires so that it doesn't try rolling away. Right now it is in a hole on this side, so it ain't going to go anywhere, but just for safety's sake, if it's going to be a how-to video, make sure you chalk your tires. If you're taking the drive shafts off, your parking brake might hold, but a brick definitely will. Just for good measure, I'm going to get both sides. Don't want to get dead working on your own vehicles. They won't find you till they need you. I highly recommend that if you got an extra bed liner laying around for no purpose, just got it, it's too big to get rid of, use an angle grinder. Cut this section off right between the wheel wells. Makes a great surface to be on. So when everything else is wet and nasty, you'll have good hard plastic. We're going to get bolts off the drive shaft there. Gonna drop the carrier bearing because this is a cab plus. Single cabs normally don't have that, but sometimes they do. And then you got the bolts here. I could get away with just doing that, but then that pole would be in our way anytime we're trying to wiggle it. Same thing goes for the front end. And then this side has some slip yoke that just pops right out. So you just pull this section right here, just comes right out. Get up under here. That's the first attempt at using the GoPro on my head. Let's see how it goes. Fairly certain those bolts down there are 14. Before I get too deep, I need to get a wrench. That'll work. Oh, that sucks having to crawl all the way back out for one tool. Alright. Yep, 14. One thing I did realize now I forgot is my little bag. That's why I like using these bed liners. You throw the bolts on there, it's hard to lose them in the grass. Or just use that patch of dirt. Whatever's better. Whatever works for you. As long as it works. That and gloves. I always forget to wear gloves. Case in point. There you are. I'm back here. Now, being that this is going to be a multi-day project, I've got bags set aside to keep track of which bolts go where. It'd be relatively difficult to mix them up, but over a couple days you might lose one or two, and then you end up getting 50% of your drive shaft bolted together, like my front end has. Gotta love previous owners. They give you the nicest gifts. Last one. Probably smart to try and rotate this drive shaft, but this also works. Alright. Something's leaking here. I'll have to figure that out. That thing should not be wet. No tool left behind. Come on. So, got this carrier bearing here. I think those are 17 and more 14. So we're going to go ahead and knock this off. Well, we got the tools ready. Oh, that's what I was thinking. So, I lost footage on my little stationery here. Ran out of memory space. While I was out, went ahead and soaked carrier bearing in PB Blaster because it wants to be stubborn. And we'll see if that helped at all. It has not. It has not soaked for very long, but still. You'd imagine it. There it is. We'll loosen up at least a little. It's almost off. I'll leave it on just a little bit so when I break this other side loose, it doesn't try and come down after me. Now, I think what I'll need is something to pry with and get that there off so that can be on the ground. That'll be the start of our journey. Yep. There's your slip yoke for the rear drive shaft. This is gonna just fall on me, but it'll be okay. These bolts are gonna be a pain. Come on. There we go. And I'm just going to stick her right back here. I also grabbed my bolt bag. I keep everything from underneath here nice and sealed. Because we're going to go through a lot of bolts. We got 4 over here, well, 3 over here, and 2 on the other side. Along with 1, 2, 3 for the skid plate. Those are 14, so we'll go ahead and knock them out. If they'll cooperate. That'll do it. Funny enough, this is actually got mirroring bolts. You got one there and there, same as you do over here. So you could have the diff drop on left or right. So for some reason, even in foreign markets like right-hand drive, they're still dropped to the left. Don't know why. These do not want to break free. I will say I have not encountered a rusted and broken bolt in this entire setup so far. I've done a full lift kit, CV axle, front differential. What else have I done? I ain't messed with the fuel tank quite yet. That's why I don't like these trucks. They don't seem to rust very easily. You have to blatantly abuse them in order to get rust going. Now dirt and grime, yeah, that's everywhere. There we go. So, another look at the differential shield. As long as you're looking at the right spot, I'm looking. Got the front two going to the transmission mount, and this one going back to your rear sway bar, or rear torsion bar, sorry. Location right there. Nice sturdy piece of metal too. You see how thick that is? It's heavy. Now, go ahead and see what we can do about this front drive shaft. And now, of course, speaking of, come here. Sorry about that. Yeah, I lost the bolts for this front end. Hadn't gotten around to getting proper hardware, and was only doing a test drive with it anyways. It wasn't, you know, full sending forward drive. It works, even on just 2 bolts. Forward drive selector doesn't work. That right there is the vacuum engagement right here. And solenoid up in the engine bay doesn't want to talk to nobody. So I gotta figure out how to either fix that or bypass it with a cable. I've got a pretty good idea for cable bypass. Make it easier. Of course it didn't work. I've also done master and slave clutch pedal or clutch cylinders. Got full clutch kit already in there. Hope I don't have to undo it just to get this transmission swapped, because I don't have the tools to do it properly. He says as he tries to push with the side of a wrench. Like no one noticed yet. So yeah, this is not going to be happening. I'm gonna have to crawl out and get my hammer. That's it. I'm getting me mallet.
get a feeling that y'all ain't able to see none of this, since daylight's my only light source, and that's making its way out of town right now, like that bolt did. Whatever, let's go ahead and get these bolts out. Transmission member separated, because if I don't do it now and I try to go at dropping it like both of these ends, then it'll be a lot of extra weight, and it won't have the clearance probably to get it down. If you notice, I do not have this on jack stands. It is still on the suspension. 2-inch lift kit does some pretty good things, such as that. I just got it. These things make good pillows. Probably good camera stabilizers. Another thing Mazda did right, cutting access holes. You get a bolt through. Forethought in most manufacturers is a little bit lacking. Look at any Chevy oil drain plug. Alright, let's be a bit easier. It's overkill, I know, but it works. I also had to piece this harness together right here. When I got this truck, someone or something had ripped these cables clear out of the vehicle. And even though I just praised Mazda for brilliant design, most of their wiring harness is idiot proof. A bundle of red wires, there'll be a stripe or something to identify them separately. So you get red with blue, red with green, red with white, solid red. It's a little hot. In most cases, for the first time ever, I found myself looking at this harness, and you got green with black and green with black going two separate areas. Which one's which? I don't know. Finally got the book for it, so I'll be able to look at the wiring diagrams, because I haven't found anything besides Mitchell repair manuals that have an actual wiring diagram of it. Iron bolt on that. I love finding missing bolts for no reason. Previous owner, I appreciate you. Weight reduction, right?
I'm out of daylight, so I'm gonna have to call it a day. Can't really see much what I'm doing underneath the vehicle without light, unless you want to hear me talk. But today's successes: we did get the drive line down, we did get the skid plate off the transfer case, we got the transmission mount unscrewed, unbolted. Next day we're going to be working on that bell housing and getting a jack underneath it to support, and then we're going to get this transfer member in the frame and get that dropped, and then we got to get things unplugged and sensors unplugged or removed, and then we'll be able to get this down. I'm hoping with as much clearance as I got, I can get that transmission out and then back in with the other transmission in there, and hopefully, because that one's basically untested too, so there could be a problem with that one as well, but we'll find out. So see y'all guys tomorrow.